Hello and welcome to The Sit Down. I'm your host, Jan Ragnerud, and today we're going to cover a very common question, and one that I frankly have for you. If you know that content is so important, why aren't you creating more content? You know, it just seems so obvious. Content speaks volumes online and everywhere. So why are we not doing this? I'm going to answer that today, and I'm going to take you through some strategies and some different ways of thinking so that you can take action as well. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to the next episode. I'm your host, Jan Ragnerud. I am excited as heck that you're here because today's topic is very exciting. In fact, we're going to talk about content. You know all about content. Here's the question. If you know that content is so important, especially online, why aren't you creating more? Or why aren't you creating any of it? Come across this quite often. So let's dig in here. I wanted to show you this here. We're going to hide the content a little bit, so you stick with me. We're opening up number one here. Thing one. Content is awesome because search engines love it, right? If you're creating content like blog posts, articles, even videos like this and transcribe it into text, which search engine can gobble up, right? The spiders. Well, then you're serving the search engines, you're serving your brand, you're serving your users by virtually being found. And if you look at some previous videos that I have on how to do keyword research and developing content around this, you'll know that coupling keywords around content and serving your audience is going to have a huge benefit for you. It's not overnight, but the fact that you're not doing anything is not helping any of this, okay? So that's number one here. Now, the next one is in social media. Certainly videos are very, very popular today. They work like crazy. Facebook and videos is just a machine, right? But if you don't have any content, that's not going to happen either. And people thrive on valuable, useful, unique, and different content. And that's what you want to create to leverage this. And I'm going to talk about this in future videos on how you can create a machine that goes on and on and on, even with old blog posts, right? That you might have written a year or years ago. So make sure that you do this for social media, checking that off. The third one here is when you have quality content that you see works in the sort of organic realm. For instance, a blog post that you've written, well, why wouldn't you want to share that to a much more targeted audience? Yes, you have your email lists, you have your targeted likes, say on Facebook, you have connection points in Twitter and LinkedIn, you're part of groups so you can share it all there. But how about boosting this content? For instance, this is a common practice in Facebook where you can simply post a link back to your website in Facebook and then boost that link right there. And so boosted campaigns is very, very favorable to your brand and to your message. You get more eyeballs. And I put paying here because you want paying eyeballs, right? So next, we have thing number two. We're going kind of quickly here today. Let's rip it off. And that is, what's preventing you from doing this? That was the ultimate kind of question here today. And what's preventing you? Well, number of variables here, number of things. We could probably list pages and pages, but I have found a few things to be kind of a common theme here among all you great users. And the first one here is where and how. Where do I start and how do I start? Well, the truth is it's sort of a barrier that you're creating for yourself, because one simple strategy that will get you started today, this week, is to ask the top 5 to 10 questions that your audience poses the most often. You know, what do you hear on a constant basis? Oh yeah, they're asking about this, they're asking about that. Oh yeah, that thing. Okay, talk to your sales team, discuss amongst yourselves, start writing it down, get into a meeting, write it on a whiteboard, discuss. What is it that we hear all the time that we can answer on our blog, on our website, and in specific medium? Well, get that going, because guess what? Once you do, you've not only now started the process, but you've also began to answer questions of a hungry audience that you can become a leader and an authority in, and that's exactly what you want, so that they know who to come to and why. So this is the first step. And where to start is really simple. Internally, questions out to your audience. How you do it? Write it down. Simple, right? Got it. Okay, number 2 here, company culture. You know, some of the internal conflicts and struggles that you have may come across as, well, we're not a company of sort of broad creation or distribution or consumption of content. We may be a smaller business where that's simply not something we do, right? You're just blocking yourself from the get-go. So that could deal with team members, internal conflict there, right? And ultimately this boils down to ownership. And if you want this to take hold, you need to start at the top. So if you're in a larger organization, you need the buy-in from the top so it trickles down. If you're a smaller business, you are the business owner, so you can make this happen very, very quickly. And in fact, the bold statement here is that you are now a publishing company. Think of yourself as a publisher and get this mode of thinking out not only to your organization, but in your own mind, and you'll learn very quickly the power of thinking yourself of as a publishing or a media house, no matter what business you're in. If you're selling tacos on the corner, you're a publishing house, right? If you're a major corporation, definitely a publishing house. So get that checked off. So we're going through this now. And this third one is huge. And we all struggle with this. Heck, I've been dealing with this for a long time. Perfection. Perfection is the enemy of profitability. That was Mark Cuban, I believe. And it's so true. It's sort of analysis paralysis. You've heard about it. You know it. You get caught in it. It's like, darn it. But you need to snap out of it. And why? Because I'm telling you to. There's no need for this, right? You get that content out there and you start seeing some results and people are starting to comment, you get excited. Even if that too doesn't happen overnight. But you need to get that handled. Perfection is definitely an issue here. And the next one and the final one here, as I said, it's a lot of points here to discuss. But this one gets a little personal. And it's so easy to say that you're lazy. I guess that's what I'm saying. You're lazy. But the truth is you are hampering yourself by these top three here, but also this idea that I don't really want to do it because I have other things, and you're kind of dragging because it's going to be possibly too much work for little output. You're not ready to take action, is what I'm saying. And also the idea here is that you're a little scared, right? If you go in front of the camera, that's not going to be easy. Nobody likes that, right? You ask anybody, do you like to sit in front of the camera? No. Do you need to stay in the camera? Probably. And yes, and depending on sort of your voice and face for camera, you may decide, hey, I'm going to go audio. Hey, I'm going to start with some simple PowerPoint slides and I'm going to speak to those. And I have tons of information that I can share with my audience. We'll make that bite-sized snippets that you share with that audience and send it out to your email list and make sure it's available on your blog. You can upload this slide share concept to YouTube or Vimeo, just like I'm doing here, and start sharing those. And the rich media has a much wider consumption rate than a static blog, but you should do both, right? And you should definitely test this. But the idea that you're lazy, well, I'm going to tell you, that's a big one as well. The idea that you'd get no traffic and low business or no business is definitely going to be an issue here. And without content, you're limiting yourself. This limiting belief, this limiting sort of access point of taking action, if that's a double entendre, then I meant to do that, is that you need to take action. You must take action. And if you don't take action, you're going to be left behind. And here's a great little positive move for you. Take a look at your competition. Who are some of the players that are actually making moves in this area, and what specifically are they doing, and where are they socially? Do they have a blog, or do they primarily post on YouTube? There's some great YouTubers out there you can follow, and even large corporations are doing some fun things. So research that, stay active, stay positive, and get going with content. And there's reasons why you're not creating content. I've covered those. But more importantly, you must create content because you have so much leverage, power, and opportunity for your business and for your growth. So with that, thank you for watching today. Keep watching. Please share. Please like. I'm going to throw up a link here so we can chat if you'd like. Just a quick chat. But either way, keep watching. Jan out.